Jessie Woo.
Hi, sister.
My sister. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's so good to see you.
You too. You too.
So we were just talking, and you told me that your first language is French.
It's French.
So tell me about that.
My first language is français. I was born in Montréal, Canada. So je suis québécois, as the Canadians would say. But when I was about like 6 or 7, we moved to Miami, Florida. My parents separated, so I'm more of an Americanized Haitian, Canadian, whatever you would say, you know. But yeah, my first language was French. And I remember when I first moved here, the difficulties of not speaking English. Like, I got kicked out of my first school.
What do you mean? So
my mom put me in a Catholic school. You know, Haitians love, a lot of Haitians like to go to Catholic school. That's how our parents grew up too. She put me in Catholic school, and I remember just being upset about not speaking English. So there was one day where I don't know what the teacher told me, and I got so upset, and I stood up on the table.
How old were you at this time?
I was like 7.
Oh my goodness.
And I just stood up on the table and I was just cussing her out in French. Like, listen, y'all gonna speak French today.
Oh my goodness.
And then they kicked me out. My mom was like, okay, we're gonna do public school. But I remember then going to public school in Miami, and what really helped me learn English actually was Nickelodeon. Okay. So all the cartoons on Nickelodeon, Rugrat, Rocko's Modern Life, like all those 90s cartoons, like that's what helped me adapt and learn English and then learn the cool things to say at school.
That's fun.
Yeah.
My dad told me, my dad is Haitian as well. He told me he learned English from listening to love songs.
That's another one.
So it's always like songs, TV, you're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, you're gonna figure it out.
Yes. So let's talk about beauty. You learn English eventually. Did you always know that know or feel that you were beautiful?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
So
I got teased a lot as a child. You know, I think just when I look back at it, unfortunately in the Black community we have a lot of colorism. And so I would get teased for like my skin tone a lot. I would get called Gremlin. Like that was one of the
A Gremlin?
Yeah, it's gonna make me cry. Just think about it. I didn't expect. Girl, those kids were ruthless in elementary school.
How dare they?
Yeah, it was just really, really bad. And I think that just also being that I was not like everybody else. At the same time, like I didn't speak the language, and then, you know, I was dark, like, you know, it just was rough. So there would be some times when I would go home and I would cry and I'd be like, Mom, like, why am I ugly? I would say that to her. And you know, your mom is always going like, no, you pretty. Mom, like, no, you pretty. You're so beautiful, you know, like, Mom, no, you're telling me I'm pretty, but when I go to school, they call me ugly, they call me Gremlin, or they would, you know, call me a chipmunk because I have like huge cheeks. And so yeah, like as a kid I did not feel beautiful. I think that it wasn't up until I kind of got to college and I was like, listen, well, this is just the face I have, I'm gonna just make it work. And now when I think about it, that's not even a good way to approach beauty. Right. You know, I think in the recent years of my life, I've just grown to love myself, because even then, like as an influencer, you know, you put yourself out there, I get comments about my looks all the time, especially if I don't wear makeup.
But you're beautiful.
Girl, like Twitter don't say that.
No, like, not even a trace of Gremlin. Like, you are so pretty.
I know that now. But then even sometimes I will doubt that, because there are those comments that come in, and you know, people always say, accept yourself, show the real you, you know, on Instagram and social media, show the real you, and then you show them the real you, and they call you ugly. Yeah, like, I've had that. They call you ugly. They say you know, you look like, I've been compared to so many different types of animals, you know what I mean? So I think just I've grown to love myself past that and accept myself for who I am and be like, you know what, I actually am a pretty girl. Yeah. You know, But sometimes I do doubt my beauty. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Sometimes I'm like, well, damn, am I ugly?
No.
But you know, the devil's a liar. I'm definitely a beautiful person.
Yeah, you gotta just block those haters too.
Yeah.
So I did not learn about makeup from my mom. She was not interested at all. I learned about it by reading 17 magazine. What about you when it comes to makeup?
My mom was not into makeup at all. You know, I got the traditional Haitian mama, you know, that don't wear earrings, don't wear makeup, don't wear this, don't do that. Don't wear red lipstick, you know.
Really?
Caribbean parents, they just be so extra. But I wasn't allowed to wear makeup, but when she would go to work, I would go sneak in her bathroom and I would put it on. I'm like, oh, I like the way it just made my face one color. Like I have a lot of discoloration. My eyes are dark and, you know, just different colors on my face, and it would just make all my face one color. So I would sneak it into my book bag and then wear it to school. So that's kind of like how I got into makeup. It wasn't, definitely not my mom. And I think over time, my love for makeup just grew and grew and grew.
And we're here celebrating Black History Month at Juvia's place. So how do you celebrate Black history all year long?
Oh, I think I celebrate it all year long. I think just by giving a voice for, you know, Black girls. I think on my platform, it could kind of be confusing sometimes because a lot of people know me from being silly. Then some people know me from being on television. Some people know me for hosting red carpets events, and then now a lot of people know me for music. But through it all, I think I've always been pro-Black on my platform, pro-Black woman. What is the Black woman experience? What is the Black female immigrant experience? Like, just, I think that I celebrate it by just always acknowledging my Blackness and talking about what it's like to be a Black girl in the workplace. Like, I've talked about my experience in corporate America. Then, you know, what is it like to climb the ladder in the influencer world? And, you know, just all those things. I celebrate it all the time. We Black, we beautiful. Like,
we are Black and
it's beautiful. Just a beautiful thing.
Yes.
And I could not imagine being anything else but a Black queen. Like, I love it. I feel blessed.
Me too. So social media has changed your life. It's changed my life. What tips would you give for someone looking to come into this space and be successful? Like, what tips would you give them? I
think it sounds cliche, but be yourself, because you'll find that a lot of people will try to mimic what they see. But the people who have the longevity are the people who are themselves, and they create their own lane. Like you've created your own lane. Like everyone knows your brand. I think for me, I've created my own lane. Like, you know, I came in with my Caribbean accent and the Caribbean jokes, and I remember I did it at a time when a lot of the Caribbean influencers were all guys. And I remember thinking, when they would imitate us, I'm like, that's not how I speak, or that's not how my mom talks, or whatever. I'm like, I'm gonna show these people how I do this, you know, and just find yourself, be yourself. And another thing too is don't be afraid to reinvent yourself, reintroduce yourself. I think that's another thing. Sometimes people get stagnant because they don't know what else to do. They've been doing the same thing over and over again, but then other people come in and they start doing that too. So now you got to figure out like how to evolve and reintroduce yourself. And I think that every year I just kind of reintroduce myself. Okay, what am I going to do this year, or what am I going to do this quarter that's going to be different? So I think those are my 2 tips.
And what do you say in the face of fear? Because I feel like some people might be insecure. Maybe they were bullied when they were little, and maybe they're afraid to put themselves out there for fear of those negative comments. So that's one question. And the other one is the fear about making that transition, because you've transitioned from comedy to music. So how do you do that?
Girl, I don't know. This is hard.
It's hard.
It's hard. And one thing, okay, so fear. I'm always scared. Like I suffer from anxiety. So I think maybe that's a form of fear too. Like I have constant anxiety. Like I'll see things pop up, or I'm like, okay, what's next? Like, what am I gonna do next? Like, oh, like I don't feel like I'm being productive enough. Like what? Like I always am in fear of not progressing. So what do? I just progress. Like I just find a way to just keep doing it. Yeah. So that's how I battle fear. But transitioning from comedy to music, like I'm still transitioning. There's so many things that happen behind the scenes that nobody knows about, and you know, like online we make it look so cool, cute, and meanwhile behind the scenes, girl, like it's emails, it's a bunch of emails, it's crying, it's frustration. So I still feel like I'm transitioning because a lot of people still don't know I sing. But this year I've been in certain places and I've had so many people come up to me and say, I love your music. I'm like, what? Or still I find people, you know, finding my EP, they find Moods of a Cancer and they're like, yo, I didn't know you could sing. Like, so it just takes time. It takes time for people to catch on. But I'm still transitioning, but I'm loving it. Sometimes I hate it because it's like hard, but I love it. I think there's a big reward in the end when you just face your fears and you are living your dream. Living your truth. And I think there's so much truth to just being patient. You know, nothing happens. I don't got, girl. Me neither. I ain't got it. But eventually you'll get there. If you stick to it, you're gonna have to do something. So my last question for you is Black Beauty. What does it mean to you? Black Beauty, what does it mean? Black beauty is important because we don't always get our credit. We don't always get our credit. But you know, we really are trendsetters, and we start so many trends, from the way we wear our hair to the way we do our makeup to the way we, you know, just the way we carry ourselves. I think it's very, very important, and I think now we're living in a space where we're not accepting taking a back seat. No, you gonna know. No. A black girl started this. Black women started that. We started this trend, you know, and it's just very important because we're pioneers. And we need to be respected as such. Exactly. And creating a place where all of us can be respected equally, I think is so important. Well, thank you, Jessie. My sister. This was fun, and stay tuned for the next.